Hey guys, so right now I'm on my way out to the desert. I'm going to be meeting my buddy Todd out there. We're going to look for a new campsite. You know, our old campsite is really good. It's a great spot. We've got it set up. You know, there's not a whole lot we have to do out there.
Say you come back.
But there's a couple of problems with it. First, recently, more and more people have been getting close to it, which, you know, we don't really want. But the biggest problem is wind. Out here, our predominant wind comes from the south, a little bit southwest, and where we're at, the way we set up our hammocks, you know, we set them up in kind of a V, using 3 trees, sharing 1 tree. But the wind comes right into it, right into our little campsite. And if the trees were set up in the opposite direction, it'd be fine, because our tarps would take care of that. But it's just not set up right to block the wind. So I did a little bit of scouting not too long ago. Found a few spots that may be decent, so we're gonna go check those out and set up an overnight at one of them, see how it turns out. It's a little windy, so we'll be able to test out the wind. It's supposed to be rainy. It rained all morning. It's supposed to continue raining, so it'll be a good way of testing out our gear in rain. And also, I got a pretty cool little setup for my tarp now. I want to show you how I got it set up. It's similar to snake skins, but it's a little bit different. But it's still going to be. It's still nice and easy to set up a tarp, only using one style of knot, and it's just a simple bowline knot. So I'll show you that setup once we find our spot to get set up. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut you off now, so I can pay a little bit more attention to my drive-in since my turn's coming up here, and I'll bring you on a little bit later. All right, so for my new tarp setup, what I do is I take 2 pieces of 550 cord. I usually use 10 footers, and in one end of both of them, I just tie a simple bowline knot. And I wrap that in around the tree, put my line back through the knot, or through the loop. Oh shit, thanks.
Camera tipped over. No.
So this makes my ridge line. I'll do that on both sides. Hey, I got a cameraman now.
Whose tarp just tipped over your camera?
All right. So this is the way I got my my tarp set up. Just took some old BDU pants, cut the legs off, sewed them together, or cut them down to size, sewed them together, and on both ends are open, and I have a drawstring. So I open it up, and I have a figure 9 carabiner hooked onto the corners. So I can just take this.
Oh.
It's all good. So I just take it and run my ridge line on the figure 9. Just walk it over to the other side. Grab my other figure 9 carabiner that's in here. And hook it on. And now I can adjust it easily to what length I need without having to tie any extra knots or anything. Then I can just take my pouch, slide it off my tarp, and stake it down. But what I did on my on these corners, I got some small figure 9 carabiners that came with this reflective cordage, whatever. So I can use that to stake down and tighten up. Just makes life a lot easier setting up the tarp if you don't want to buy snake skins. I'll go ahead and get this finished up and catch you on later. All right, here's our new camp. Wind is coming from that way, so we're pretty well protected. Now, once we finally get the tarps up. But let me go back to my tarp here. So I got these mini figure 9 carabiners. Just makes tightening it up so much easier. I was using the taut line hitch to tighten everything up. Well, dinner is over the fire. Got some smoked sausages going on the little grill, hanging from the tripod. Got some water boiling, hanging from the tripod. And you can't forget beer. Today's video is brought to you by Pibber and Keystone Light. So there's camp all set up. But we have determined that this is not going to be our new permanent camp. It just doesn't feel right. It'll work for the night, but we gotta find someplace else. Oh. Oh shit. Get off my fucking cup. Ah, coffee time. Almost coffee time.
You sleep warm?
Yeah, for the most part. My back got a little cold, but once I fell asleep, I didn't feel it anymore.
You gotta try the mat. The mat is awesome. It's the first time I've ever slept with Matt. And talk about freaking sweet. Dude.
Yeah, but that's one more piece of gear I gotta carry.
No fucking coat. No socks. No nothing.
Yeah,
I slept stud.
I don't want to carry any more gear though. So I want to get an underquilt and top quilt, replace my sleeping bag. I'm not carrying any more gear.
Right.
But I should still be warm.
Right. I don't know. I'm liking the cocoon system.
Oh yeah.
I'm liking the idea of the cocoon system. I can see myself switching to that.
But that just seems hard to get in and out of. Especially when we're out here and drinking as much beer as we drink and having to get up every like an hour and a half to piss.
There'll be no pissing from the hammock in a cocoon system. I could see myself getting shithoused enough that I would piss into the cocoon. as much as I hate to say it, I really need to get some more of that Starbucks Fiat.
Really?
Yeah.
Not feeling the Folgers anymore?
Ah, it's just better coffee. I mean, I dig the Folgers, don't get me wrong. Especially the packets. I think I've got a couple left of those. But the instant Via is just as good as that stuff.
Yeah. Could have made it better, but I forgot the moonshine.
Yeah, I saved myself one beer for the break.
Oh.
Well done, Keystone. Well done.
I was trying to save me one beer for breakfast. Then I drank it last night.
I drank my breakfast last night. It's good shit. Oh, fuck.
There he goes. Whoa. Oh, speaking of breakfast, hardtack.
Whoa, whoa, easy. Catch me on fire, dickwad. Holy shit, that stuff is cold.
Well, it's been sitting on the ground out here all night. Tell you what's not cold. My fucking legs.
Yeah. Shit just got a little warm. No, wind. Don't do that.
Damn it, Bobby. Something ain't right about that boy.
Oh, ladybird!
Hey now, wind.
Chill the fuck out. You haven't done shit all night. We wake up, doesn't mean you have to. Do you really think that the West would have been settled without coffee?
No.
Would have never happened. All those pioneers and trappers and, people on the wagon train had gotten up one morning and just said, screw it. I ain't going any further.
Well, you know the saying, you gotta be tough to live in the West. Now without my coffee, I ain't.
Yeah, right. All the people who ran out of coffee, they're still in Nebraska. Oh yeah.
Shit. Oh! Yeah!
Holy shit! That was awesome. Well done. That's badass.
Oh man. That was just a little bit of powder too.
Funk.
I was thinking this shit's gonna go do something like that. And I'm like, no, it's not under pressure.
Right?
Under pressure.
Nice. That's funny. Just that little bit of compressed air inside the box was able to move it 3-4 feet.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty impressive. Not only that, but a shit ton of hash. That's a good trick.
Yes, it is. Gonna have to remember that one.
And that, kids, is why you always keep low-grade gunpowder.